To begin a historical tour of the education system, traditional education used to very strict in dynamics, structure, and hierarchy. The position of the church has promoted the eternal truths, and we are used to for these eternal truths, but is the moment for the change. With this traditional practice, maintaining the cycle that does not allow the development of contemporary practice in education. Contemporary education practice are important today because they help to develop and build moral and ethical thinking in the learner, and we will get used to contemporary practice because as a future teachers and we will have to make a self-evaluation all the time for the innovation to the education.
Deepening interpretation of basic knowledge. Another visible problem in this educational system is that it has a model with too much concepts and cognitive extension, but with a little bit of profundity. That is to say, there is an inclination for the traditional school model where a certain knowledge is given to the students, but is to lose knowledge that is not interrelated with the students' daily life. That is why, at this point, we will seek to provide an interaction between knowledge.
One of the problems that affect Colombia in terms of education is the difficult access to schooling. This is mostly due to economic reasons, and if we look at this profundity, it could be said the inequality in social classes. Economic deprivation makes a young person prefer to take a job to be able to help at home rather than take classes to take a concepts their cognitive capacity and intellect. This is why there is a need for the state to offer opportunities to access free and quality education for the less economically favored Colombians, but sometimes these educations aren't quality and the college education aren't free.
One of the difficulties that we have within the system is the way in which students are evaluated because they are usually evaluation learning in a quantitative way, as I we could give numerical standards of the capabilities of the human being. So, with this point, we try to change the quantitative model to establish it a qualitative one in which we implement.
It's necessary to clarify that all has a common and general factor in the foundations of the ideas of change. This factor is the environmental, because from our point of view, educating, if we want a change, we will have to live the thing about the nature is a resource. We live now and we don't give the importance to that. It's necessary to highlight this aspect.
Like to do a campaign of eliminating the policies that governs education in order to obtain this autonomy. Copying the Finland model. Secondly, autonomy must also be achieved by the students because if they think to see education as their own merit that is beneficial for their development,